You are now tuned in to the motherfucking Ambition Hour podcast on Worth the Wait Radio. You ready?
Dub T motherfucking dub, ho.
Yo, and welcome to the Ambition Hour podcast. It's your girl, Audi 3000, and this is episode 84.
Yo. I can never unsee it now.
Oh man, I couldn't catch the whoa.
Oh my bad. I stopped it early, so I
It's
fucked you up.
okay. It's okay. Hey everybody, welcome yet again to another episode of the Ambition Hour podcast. Thank you so much for tuning in. As you can see, I am not by myself. If you are watching us on YouTube, if you are listening to us on Spotify, SoundCloud, Apple Podcasts, wherever it is that you may listen to your podcast, I'm going to tell you that I am with Jav. 600 in the building.
You already know, JV, your girlfriend's favorite rapper, is here. I wish that for Spitz, I don't have a do-rag, clearly, because, well, for the viewers, they can see that I don't have waves, but I wanted to put like a do-rag on a mic.
Oh, and then just have it
Just have it there.
because Spitz wasn't able to make it in
Spitz-
today's episode.
Spitz was feeling under the weather.
And
you
if
know.
you can see how
Dorian got the best of him.
Jav is lighting up a candle from our sponsors, Annie & Co, to set the vibes right.
Facts.
The scent that we have going on in today's episode is Orchid. This scent is actually no longer available. So that's some exclusive shit. You know what I'm talking about?
Very rare. When I light up, it's very rare shit.
Yeah, so make sure that you guys go ahead and visit our sponsors on Instagram, which is Annie.and.co. And you can find their shop on Etsy. So just go to the Instagram and check it out. And you can use our promo code, which is ANC19A, for a 10% discount off of all of your candles. And so, if this is your first time listening to us on WTW TV or WTW Radio, I want you guys to go ahead and join the WTW family. And all you have to do to join is hit the subscribe button, leave a comment, tell a friend to tell another friend. And if you tell a friend, tell that friend to tell another friend. And tell them to leave a review, to leave a comment, to just, lather us with love that we love here.
Be part of the community.
Yes, and join the WTW fam. If you want
Dubs
all
up.
things WTW, you can just head on over to our website, WTWrecords.com. Jav, I have you to myself this week. I'm excited.
Yeah, I know. It's rare when we get to do these one-on-ones, but they always come out to be good episodes, so
I
it's always
feel
a vibe.
so.
And we haven't talked too much today, so
Yeah,
I feel like
we've been beefing.
Oh, damn. I didn't feel like that, but okay.
No, I'm joking. I'm definitely not beefing.
You bought the gun today?
I did not. I left my gun, I don't have a gun.
Moving along.
Yeah, I don't have a gun. So what's up? How your week been?
It's been really good. I just wanted to make a shout out to Connect Zero. He dropped his album on
Shout
Wednesday, and it's just been a good week. I did my first 5K.
Congrats.
So, if anyone's following up on me and my running,
The fans are dying to know
we're
what
back
your
on it,
times are and shit.
I'm trying to cut down to 10 minutes a mile. We're gonna get there. It's just been pushing me to do more, and it's just like, it's like mental. I feel like it's more mental exercise more than it is physical exercise.
Always.
Just because you can't just like give up or just like, oh, fuck it, man, this bed just feels too damn good, and you just could lay up in there. I like to look at that. Jocko, if you guys don't listen to him, I think he's like an ex-Navy SEAL. He kind of says like that's the first battle of the day.
It is.
So either are you gonna win, are you gonna beat it, or are you gonna settle for comfort? And it's just like, oh,
I'm
fuck.
not snoozing tomorrow.
Shit.
I'm not working out in the morning, but I'm not snoozing.
Yeah, I'm gonna work out a little bit, every morning, and then a lot of people I feel like they're pushing me. I low key feel pressured. I feel pressure, y'all, but they're pushing me to do a half a marathon,
Which is
like 13
miles or
13
something
miles
like
or
that.
so.
That is a very long time of running.
Yeah, so I mean, I'm gonna push it. Yeah, my training starts on my birthday, so happy birthday to moi.
Hey,
And
nice.
and yeah.
When is this half marathon?
Oh, it's in February, so I have plenty of time to train.
You do have plenty of time.
Yeah.
I saw that Nori from Drink Champs, shout out to Drink Champs, he did like 10 miles the other day, and
Hey.
that just inspired the shit out of me.
See, like we need to really start that group. You know,
Yeah,
like
we do.
y'all let us know, because Claudia left me on red, if it should be Revenge Runners or
the name.
something like that, or maybe we do like Worth the Workout. And you see what I did there?
Yeah.
You
I
know,
like
so
Worth the Workout.
so it's still Dub T Dub.
Yeah.
You know, and we could have, you know, maybe we have EFN join us. Maybe we have DJ Killer K join us. Maybe,
He works out. He's a trainer.
He's a trainer. But hey, and if Nori needs a partner on those on
On
those
those
10 mile
miles,
runs,
I mean,
you know,
by
Nori
all-
come on a show too. So yeah, like we gotta do that, because I know, like, yeah, a lot of people, you know, fall into the lifestyle, or they want to do it. It's just
yeah,
they don't have a group.
or something.
So let's
For
get
those,
it.
yeah, for those of you that don't know what we are talking about, I presented the idea to Hav that we should start like a hip hop running team, and basically it would just be people that are part of the hip hop community in Miami or anywhere, basically just coming together to run,
Yeah, or work out
or
too.
work out.
Because like I want to get in the gym with K too. You know, like
Yeah.
I see him there pumping iron. I'd be like, damn, I am trying to like shed a little bit more weight, and then we'll just to get my cardio up.
Yeah,
Kind of like that, because I just want I want that shredded look. You feel me?
yeah, for
I want to
sure.
feel like I'm like, low key a boxer.
Ooh, boxers have nice bodies.
You know,
huh?
because like they cut up, and I
You
feel like
you
I
really
always
gonna be these girls' favorite rapper. Well, you already are, but
exactly. I always have been. So I mean, I don't know what happened there, but
I've been going to the gym because as you guys remember, I was working out. I was actually just running, and I was doing workouts at home, which I felt like I was doing very good because I was getting stronger. That was one of my main goals. My main goal wasn't to lose weight. It wasn't to anything. It was just to stay consistent with my running, to stay consistent with my workouts, and to get my body stronger. So, and prepared for when I went back to the gym. I was avoiding the gym for a very long time, because I would tell you, like, I don't want to go to the gym. Part of the reason is because of my social anxiety, because one time I almost caught a fucking panic attack at the gym. There were so many people. I couldn't hear my music. All I could hear was the people. It was insane. But so once I started noticing that the gym kept charging me, I was like, well, it seems like it's about that time to head on over to the good old gym. And so I did, and I've really been enjoying it. I've been seeing my results have gone from the good that they were to now like even better. What's crazy is that I haven't even lost 10 pounds. I went from like 149 to 142, and I noticed a complete difference in my body, like as if I would have lost like 15 pounds or 10 pounds. And that's a really good feeling.
Yeah, I stay away from, like me. I don't like haven't weighed myself before or after. I don't know. Not that, because to me, I'm doing these like I said, these physical activities, but more for the mental.
For sure.
More than anything, it's not a diet. It's not I want to shed 30 pounds, or I want to do this or want to do that. It's just more like, how can I do the things that people don't want to do, right? Or the things that like are challenging to some, or shit, I never thought I could even do a 5K, run a 5K, participate in a 5K, and shit, I did it. So like that was just like, that just helps me out with other little shit, the game of life's a game of chess, Yeah. So
one of the things too, because since I've been like working out or whatnot, my whole thing is that the only reason why I've been weighing myself is because I've been doing Weight Watchers, and with Weight Watchers you get points for weighing yourself. So I'm trying to get as many points as I can.
See, that's a cool way to do it.
Because you get like prizes and stuff, and it's also good to track your progress, because there were weeks that I literally wasn't losing any weight, but I was noticing it in my body so much that I didn't even care. I was just like, there would be times that I would like even skip weeks, because I was just like, I don't need this negativity in my life. Like, I feel good, my butt is growing, my waist is getting smaller, this is all that matters to me, and I feel healthy, I'm making better decisions, I'm not eating as much, and just different lifestyle changes. We always like to talk about this because it's the ambition of our podcast. Ambition includes working out, becoming the better version of yourself. It just involves different aspects of just becoming a better person. So we like to act on and be, you know, we like to speak with our actions, not with our words. And yes, this is an hour-long podcast where we speak.
Hey man, we can't talk about Dave Chappelle for the whole hour.
For real, we can't talk about Dave Chappelle. I mean, the most important person of the entire hour really is Beyonce. But before we get into Beyonce and to the cool topics that we have up,
but how was your week? I mean, you kind of touched on it, but how was your week?
My week was awesome.
She been dying for someone to ask her. Oh fuck! I don't let the floodgates go out.
Well, okay. So since we last shot the episode, it was, you know, the hurricane happened. I just wanted to send my condolences to everybody in the Bahamas, South Florida. We got very, very lucky, and we didn't get affected by the hurricane that we were speaking of last week, which was Dorian. Still, good morning, good afternoon, and good night to everyone except Dorian. But besides that, I was able to get a lot of rest, which is something very important to me, because I need to make sure that I'm sleeping, because the more I sleep, the more beautiful I get, the more I'm aware.
She's trying to grow that extra inch, y'all.
I'm alert, and, you know, a lot of rest is part of good recovery. I got to catch up on some of my shows this weekend. I mean, whether I wanted to or not, I was going to be staying home at the crib. Because that was just the plan. It was just like this, because I'm really
had it in your head type shit. That's what I was talking to someone
like,
at work.
I had it in my head. It was just like,
you're
this weekend
home.
I was going to stay home anyway. Like, the hurricane coming was like not even like no. See, I wasn't going anywhere regardless. I was like, damn, a hurricane's coming. Oh, well, that means no one can invite me anywhere. I'm trying so hard to like not go out, because every time I go out, I at least spend like $60. And that's being nice. That's me not eating when I go out. That's me not getting a third drink. That's me not staying an extra hour.
That's because you do double Hennessy.
No, I stopped doing the double Hennessy. I'm doing the regular, because what I noticed is that they trick your ass. They give you a double, but that shit ain't no motherfucking double.
Wow, finally got put onto the game. You're supposed to ask how they do this. You're supposed to get the single first, see how that was. And if it was a good drink, that means there's a good bartender. Go ahead and order that double, because they're going to look out.
I mean, you live and you learn. There's some places that when I ask for a double, it's a double.
That's a triple damn near. Like, hey, goddamn.
It's a double. Your girl needs one. But yeah.
Her little ass. I got to saw like you were saying, catching up on shows. I actually got to see this anime that I thought was like really cool, and like it's so relevant now. It's called Akira. For anime people, they fucking know that this is like literally the golden, like this is the prized possession, you know, as far as
like
movies go,
of
anime and movies. So like I always seen parts of it and shit like that, but then I finally like zeroed in and focused on it, and then, you know, it's so relevant today. Like the shit that that happened in this movie happened in 1988, you know, something like that. And even
before I was born, that was 31 years ago.
And then it even, it's so funny because they even like say like 30 years later or something like that, and like it's 2019 or 2018 or some shit like that. It's like, oh damn, really? Like, damn, these motherfuckers actually did the math. But but not only that, but like it's just, even today it feels like it holds up. You know, like how sometimes you watch some shit and that shit does not hold up. Like, damn, that was really for the times. Like, homies try to watch like Disney Channel episodes. Is this a brother sister podcast?
I mean, usually when it's the two of us, people get the vibe of like brother sister anyway.
But yeah, damn, you know, usually you see those, or even albums, you know, that used to slap, but then now you hear them now, you're like, damn, this beat from 03 ain't hitting like it used to, you know what I mean? So yeah, like it's just cool to see something be so timeless as well.
I like that. One of the things that I also did this week that I wanted to share with the listeners and the viewers is I cleaned out my closet and my drawers. Now, this is something that I do often because
like every 6 months type
I truly believe in when you make room for blessings, they come. So if you feel like,
need to preach shit in here.
So one of the things that I was noticing was that my drawers and my closet were becoming way too cluttered. So therefore, in the mornings, it was annoying for me to get ready because it was just like, there's so much clothes, I don't know what to pick. Like, and there was just clothes that I wasn't wearing anymore, that I was just, not that it was just like, oh, I hope it fits me one day. It was just like, maybe one day I'll wear it again. And then it got to the point where it was just like, I haven't worn this in a year. Let me get the fuck rid of this.
Right? You be looking at shit and just like, bruh.
Like, yeah, nah, you're not gonna wear that again. And
or you be looking at a shirt like, dang, I really did this.
That too. that one hurts.
That one hurts too because like
You
yours
didn't
was
even-
like $30 or like
Yeah,
like or
I
some
have
shit
a
like that.
dress that I only wore it one time,
It's
and I
crazy.
hated when I wore it anyway. Like,
Right? Yeah, exactly. Like, damn, man. Damn, the store got me this time, but
the
fuck
store
it.
did get me.
Shit happens. Shit happens.
It'd be like that.
Yeah.
I wanted to, before we head on up and continue the episode, I wanted to give a shout out to my girl Mari Sunshine,
New merch.
who has her own company called With Love Sunshine.
Hey.
And she is the official sponsor of this shirt, of this outfit. It's
this
actually
outfit.
a dress.
It's a dress.
Yes.
So comment below, ladies, if you want your Ambition Hour dresses. It has what I like to call, or what Guap Dad would call, the Givenchy Glitter Glisten.
Yes.
On the letters as the Ambition Hour podcast. Yeah, hit her up. She's down to do anything as far as, you know,
anything
Disney,
that you guys
anything
need.
that you need. If you want to print something for your company or for with your logo, or let's say you're planning a trip to Disney with the friends and you want to have one of those
All
nice
matching
shirts, all matching shirts, and be that group in the Disney trip. But you know, go ahead and do it. You know,
Mari's definitely that group.
Ma-
Mari and her friends.
Marty will give you ideas like, bitch, we did this shit and this shit was lit. No, but so yeah, man, go check out the homie. You know, what is it called again? So,
Her Instagram is w.lovesunshine, and Sunshine has 2 eyes. So make sure that you guys go ahead and check out with it's w.lovesunshine with 2 eyes on Instagram. You can also find Mighty Sunshine on my page. She's one of my best friends.
Yeah. She's been an audience member.
She's been an audience member. She did my makeup for one episode.
for a
She was
couple
there for our New York
trip.
episode.
Speaking of which, this Saturday when this is out, you could go now, you know, hit this on pause, or you could go and check out the Weekend in NY.
Yes.
A Weekend in NY, Jav and C.A.B. C.A.B. and Jav, however the fuck you want to say it. Came out 9 tracks. You know, it's the sequel to Weekend in L.A. And I was talking to Sosa, someone, you know, part of the fam, who was talking, and I was just saying, you know, I'm really proud of this project. I think that we killed the first one, and that was my whole thing. You know, you want the, you know, who says that the sequel ain't better than the first one? Well,
Yeah.
we're going to prove it right here that it is. And, you know, we got another one in store, too, so we're going to complete the trilogy and shit like that. But check it out, man. That motherfucker C.A.B., who's been on the show before.
Yeah, episode 32.
I mean, just like just working with him and just seeing our growth and all that shit, you know, like it's just
Beautiful.
dope. It's
I
just
was
dope.
in the studio when they were recording it, and it was pretty cool. Honestly, like, I think about New York like every day. So I'm really excited about hearing this project because it's just gonna bring back the memories of the trip, of waking up hella early to go to the studio.
Oh yeah, and Vlog Day 3 will come out hopefully by Friday.
Yay, that was my birthday.
Yeah,
That was the day of my birthday.
Yeah, the day of Audi's birthday.
Yeah.
So you get to see that.
And then it's also the last day that they were in the studio.
yeah.
So there's parts of that. There's parts of the brunch.
Yeah,
and
where Claudia like dropped this off like the older sister at the bus stop. She's like, all right, make sure y'all got here. All right,
God,
y'all on the bus.
I was so
For sure.
fucking drunk still from the night before.
Yo, we went ham.
I
that
went
night,
to the
man.
studio. It was insane. I went to the studio with them. I had ordered the lift the night before, like at 2:00 in the morning.
Yeah.
And then, so around, I think we had ordered it for like 5 a.m. or something like that. So like at 4:59, these dudes are still not, I'm like waking them up and everything. I literally woke up, went with them to the studio. I don't even remember what I was wearing. I probably looked a hot mess going to the studio. And then I was just at the studio dying, and I'm like, I can no longer stay here. And I literally got a lift I was there for like 30 minutes and went back to the spot. And then kind of like slept off the drunkenness.
Hey man, we all been there.
And then
Hey,
went
drink
to
champs,
drink
literally.
again. Okay, so speaking of birthdays, today, which is you guys know that we record these episodes on Wednesdays, we drop on Saturdays, but it is Beyoncé, the fucking queen. It is her birthday today, and
It's
as
BeyDay?
in it's BeyDay, and as
Literally?
in good fashion, I've been playing Beyoncé all day. Didn't let nobody affect my mood because it was Beyonce's day. We don't have time for negative energy and negative vibes when it's fucking a holiday. it's a fucking holiday. And so I got Tidal because they have like this little promotion going. I sent you the link, so make sure before today, because I don't think I don't think it keeps going till tomorrow. I made a second account for Tidal because the last email I used, I had to do some scamming shit. The last email that I used, I already got the trial, the free trial. So then, yes, it'd be like that. Tidal, unless y'all cut in the check, I mean, it is what it is. And so I've been listening to Beyonce all day and just understanding the type of woman that she is and how she's been so low key. She's a mother of 3 kids. She's been able to perform, like, go on a world tour where she did the Coachella. She was the first Black woman to do Coachella and perform the way that she did and bring the culture to the forefront for everyone to see and for everyone to understand and to see how beautiful it is of the culture of, like, the homecoming and just the music that she has done throughout the years. Like, I was listening to her first album and it's like, wow, this is the type of music that she was making for her first album. Like, and then listening to it now, I was listening to Everything Is Love, which is a really good project. I was in the office, of course, on my Audi shit. Like, man, when I get in that bag of, like, people don't understand, like, yeah, I got in that bag today.
It was so crazy. I saw like this compilation thing that they had, and it was basically like people announcing that she's won an award, and just seeing like the timeline of that growth, and even seeing like, bro, they actually said, and this was kind of crazy because they were like, best new artist. I was like, best new artist, like, because it was Nelly. It was like Nelly and Wayne that did it, and I was like, oh yeah, because she was in Destiny's Child, so she was a new artist. So it is just crazy to see, one, the growth, the woman that she's become, the model citizen, the role model that she's been, not only for females. I think, guys, we could get some game off of her too, because she's been doing it for a long time, and just. Well, I think what I could take away, I'm just saying, guys, because take something away. You take away that work ethic, bruh. Ain't no one could ever beat that, right? Ain't no one could take her away what she's done. And even like what the preparation for Coachella and all that shit, the dedication that it takes. Beyonce is not Beyonce because, they fucking said, hey, man, she looks good. She can hit a note. Hey, hit the stage. No, it was like, no, she worked her fucking her whole life for all of this that she has. And for good reasons. We do praise her. We put her on a pedestal. I saw some girl on Twitter. I think her name's Marlene Mello. She's from Jersey. She was what she said. She's like, I can't. She's like, I how am I defending Beyonce like she's my own mother? And this is like so true. And if Spitz, I wish Spitz was here because he'd probably be like, man, y'all hoes need to relax.
Yeah,
so shit like that.
Like, I'm really happy that he's actually not here.
Yeah.
Sorry, I'm not sorry, Spitz, because he would have like rained on my Beyonce parade, and I don't need the negativity in my life.
But it's also kind of good to like, dang, like what woman better to look up to, what I mean? And not saying that other women over sexualize themselves or anything like that, but I feel like Beyonce has never done that.
I feel like she just does it just right.
She does it just exactly. I feel like she does it just right, just enough to kind of leave it to imagination.
Yeah, but then it's like, she'll fuck the lights out of you type deal.
Boy, Terrence Howard looked like he was ready to risk it all.
All of it. And Michael, what was it? Magic Johnson was in the other seat over there. He was about to risk it all too. It's just like, homie, you was getting to dance by somebody else. First of all, Beyonce taught us all to cater to a man. She taught us to keep your relationship that is public very private, to keep your family life private.
Crazy.
She's one of the biggest artists ever, and she's been able to hide her children from us. She's been able to keep the stuff that's in her relationship. She either writes it in a song, she puts it in a song, in a video. It's something that is like that, but she doesn't go on to like Wendy Williams and starts talking shit about Jay-Z on some shit. You know what I mean? It's done in a very artistic way. It's done in a way that as a woman, because I feel like when women go through things like as far as cheating and cheating and infidelity are the same thing, but when you're just not happy in your relationship, we wish that we could sing a song. That's one of the reasons why we listen to music, is because music says the words that we can't always say. And so for Beyonce to be making songs that touches women in this type of way is just beautiful. Like I can literally just dedicate this entire episode to Beyonce because
right. But also, like, I thought you was gonna say, you know, she taught us how to cater to a man. She also taught us how to wear our freakum dress. She also taught us how to, you don't need no man. That motherfucker's replaceable. To, you know what? If you really do love that motherfucker and that motherfucker proves himself, go ahead. You know, Becky with the good hair and really got shit on me. I'm still a boss bitch. Fuck that. You know, that doesn't, you know, that mistake, that hiccup doesn't hinder or determine my self-confidence.
I don't even have to say it. You said it so beautifully.
So,
can
like,
we get a hand clap for you,
oh.
Jav?
All right. But yeah, like, she really is, you know, like, because I was kind of ready to clown because I was like, yo, y'all nut hugging like tough.
It's fucking,
you know, but it's
Beyonce.
Like, it's fucking beyond, you know, like, and then it's also like, I always look at it like, you know, like, because I also feel like I'm not a fan of anybody. I'm just a fan, like, or of their dedication. You know what I mean? And not like what they do, just like how
and the
it got done,
execution.
the execution it takes. You know, like all that shit. Like, you know, she got on someone about the lights not hitting the right way. She got on, you know, like
everything.
And just to have, you know, all those you know, all that, you know, man, female, or, you know, or whatever, or alien, you know, like, to go through all those emotions, you're letting know you're a performer. No, you're changing through costumes.
Yeah.
Then you got choreography.
Yeah.
Then you got.
And she's the one who directs all of that. And
right.
she's the one who designed. She, like, if you.
Right.
I mean, if you watch the Coachella, I mean, the
Homecoming
special
special
on Netflix,
you know.
and you know that she's a very big part of everything.
How old is she turning?
38.
38, and wow, she dropped, and then she does the Lion King album.
The Lion King album, and not like it. Just think about, if you think of the accomplishments that she's done since she has been a child, it's just been admirable.
Right. Yeah.
Like, you would think that after 30 years old, she's over it. Like, because at 30 years old, she could have stopped doing everything that she was doing and literally just dedicated her time to becoming a mother
and still be a legend,
a wife, and still be a legend. She could have, like, hung up and just.
But the
thing is that the album that she came out with after she had Blue, oh man, gave us that one gave us Drunken Love and gave us Partition. Oh, and remember we found out that J Balvin got called like 5 hours before the Coachella performance.
Yeah, that was so crazy of him talking about that. Go ahead and break that down.
We were he was on Jimmy Fallon.
Yeah,
and they were
talking English, bro. I did not know my bro knew English like that.
J Balvin knows English very well. He can articulate himself very well, and
that was dope.
He gets his joke. Yeah, he gets his jokes off.
Yeah.
Everything, like he's really, really cool.
I would love to hear him do a song. You know, it's crazy. You know, because then like when the English motherfucker do some Spanish shit, you're like, motherfucker. But then I don't know. I won't just give us two. Well, he's done it. You know, like the Dark Fantasy, the Kanye West. You know, some shit like that.
Yeah, because he even
But like, maybe a hook. I don't know.
Because in one of his songs he says, sorry si sueno grosero, but sorry.
It's like one word. Yeah.
Yeah.
And Bad Bunny be doing that shit too. Like, right, I played you that Bad Bunny song with Kemba. It's called Kemba Walker, I think it's called. Mm-hmm. That fool says he was shouting out Richard Hamilton, Tracy McGrady. So I was like, man, this motherfucker go.
Yeah, I remember that. But yeah, so
go ahead,
basically,
Jamie Fallon.
He was on Jimmy Fallon, and Jimmy Fallon is talking to him about Coachella and the performance and everything like that. And then J Balvin tells us that he was literally called 5 hours before the performance.
This was said he was in bed.
Yeah, that he was in bed and that he had to catch a flight and go to, like, who's gonna say no to Beyonce? And first of all, Beyonce is one of those artists that can do that, and you'll just be like, no question about it. Like, hop on a plane and head on over to wherever it is that she needs. Like, what you need me to perform in Coachella? Do you want me to be a backup dancer as well? Like,
right, yeah. And usually, well, how it goes in Coachella too, because you know, then this year he headlined and was being one of the first Latinos to ever headline Coachella too on the main. Oh no, he didn't headline.
No, he didn't
to perform on the main stage. He was on the main stage, right? So, well, Coachella rule or Coachella law is like, if someone brings him out, they gonna have a set next year.
But he had a set last year.
He did? So why wasn't he already there, Claudia? Oh, he was at the but no, he had to catch a flight. He had a different day?
Wait, did he?
I don't think he had a set. Because if he had a set there, we probably would have gone. We would have pulled up on him.
Unless it was this
I would have put up on my boy J Balvin. No, yeah, it was this year. He didn't have a set the year with Beyonce.
Then,
but nonetheless, that was raw as fuck to hear that. And Beyonce really is. I mean, there's probably You also like
Oh yeah, it was this year that he performed. Yeah,
with
yeah, yeah.
with the surprise albums. She's one. She already dropped one, but like she's only
She
one
did
of the
that,
main
yeah.
artists. She's the one that did that. First person to try that. Shit. I mean, what can't we say about Beyonce?
Yeah,
I
like,
mean, nothing
like
but
I
praises.
said, we can talk all day about fucking
Beyonce, come on
Beyonce.
the show. You are more than welcome here. Yeah.
One last thing. Her first album, excuse me. Her first album that dropped in 2003, and that was the one that has Crazy in Love, which is featuring Jay-Z. So this was
Fellas, I know y'all remember those booty shorts.
so this was 16 years ago. So I was talking to Clo Money. Shout out to Clo Money. And I was telling her, I was just like, damn, Jay-Z's been putting in that work to get with my girl. And look at how many years later, and they're married, they have kids.
3 kids now, right?
3 kids, twins and blue. And I don't know, I just think it's so beautiful because as a creative, you aspire to, maybe, I don't think it's everybody who thinks or feels this way, but it's kind of like that power couple that, like, because you have,
you want someone that kind of has that same drive.
Exactly. You want someone who is just as driven,
because they'll get your drive.
Yeah, they'll get your drive, but they'll also get and understand that, hey, I'm gonna be at the studio 8 hours, 4 hours, 2 hours, or I might not be able to make that date that night, but I can make it this other day because I have to listen to the final touches of my project, or and with them it's both. And then both of them are both entrepreneurs, and they both have their own things. Like Beyonce has the Park Ivy, and she has her own artists. The same with Jay-Z. Jay-Z has Tidal, Rock Nation. He's fucking talking with the NFL, like doing a whole bunch of other crazy shit. Like these two people, and then they still managed to have.
He got Meek Mill out of jail. I mean, what hasn't Hova done this year?
But the homie's home. Okay, so I said that, and I think it's gonna be a perfect segue for what I'm about to say. So you haven't heard the new episode of the Joe Budden podcast, but for those of you guys who are listeners of the Joe Budden podcast, you guys do know that he does drop episodes on Wednesday, and on today's episode.
And Clyde gets retweeted by Joe all the time.
I got retweeted by Joe. I did. Uncle. I do. It's like, what, the 4th time I've gotten retweeted by him?
Some shit like that.
Yeah, something like that. Something light. Nothing crazy. I was telling Hav that I'm just trying to be Joe's friend.
I want to invite to the.
I want to invite to the fucking pool party. But not just that. Like, I feel, just like how I know DJ EFN and I've had the opportunity to go on to Drink Champs and stuff. Like, I would love to also have the same opportunity with Joe and kind of like build that friendship and just be around someone who's doing something that I admire in the way that I admire.
Of course. Yeah.
So that's one of the reasons why I would love to meet him. But pretty much on today's episode, he pretty much stated that if you are podcasting, that it is time to quit your job. Oh, shit. And so,
hey, notice if you're listening.
Yeah, so it was pretty.
Joe made me do it.
Yeah, it was pretty, like, if you're a podcaster, like, you're wasting your time and going into your job. And now, mind you, I was about to hop into the highway where there was mad fucking traffic, and I almost busted a fucking U-turn because of what Joe was saying. And I wanted to speak on this mainly because of the reason why I will not be quitting my job. And
spoiler alert.
Yeah, it's pretty much
this wasn't an announcement?
No, it wasn't an announcement that I'm quitting. No. And it's mainly because, yes, I do believe that if you believe in your dream, that you should go all in and go full force and just like without any fears. And I do agree with that, and I feel that is very important, but I also feel that there needs to be a lot more preparation behind you quitting your job. I at least feel that you should have at least 6 months of money saved, that you'll be able to pay for your bills, that you'll be able to pay for your phone if you want to go out to eat, or just there's certain sacrifices that you'll just have to make that if you're willing to make them, by all means, you go ahead and do them.
Facts.
I, on the other hand, have decided that at this moment I'm not, or do not want to quit my job, because I have done it before. I have been the one to go out on a limb and quit my job, and this was when I was doing Herbalife that I decided to quit my job, and I was doing Herbalife full time. And not to say that I wouldn't put the same energy, like the energy that I was putting when I was doing Herbalife, wouldn't be the same that I would as if I was doing the podcast. It wouldn't be the same because they were completely two different things. But just for what I went through, as far as when I didn't have a job and when I was super broke, and had gotten to the point where, like, I knew that I needed a job, and I knew that I needed to either get a job or at least change the way that I was handling my business.
Or flip a pack.
Yeah, like I couldn't like figure it out, and I was just so lost, and I was just in a hole that it was just like, okay, the next time that you ever consider quitting your job, you need to be a lot more prepared, and you need to have a plan. So I have a plan on what it is and where it is that I want to take the podcast. But as far as like quitting my job so I can podcast full time, I don't have that plan yet. So it's something that I do have to work on. But I just wanted to share that with you guys because, one, yes, if you feel and you have it in your heart that you should quit your job, your full-time job to pursue what it is that you want to do, like in your creativity field, then you should go ahead and do it. You just have to have a plan. And you have to remember that there's going to be days that you're not going to have money, and there's going to be days where you're going to think that this isn't going to work and that you're crazy. Your family's going to definitely think that you're fucking crazy because families apparently don't want us to be great. They want us to work 40 hours a week, work until we can retire, live off of retirement. And that's just not how we're trying to live. We're trying to live an entrepreneur life. We're going to live an entrepreneur life to where our lives are just completely different and we're breaking the generational curse.
Yeah.
So,
I mean, we're already doing that now, right? Because we're just not going, doing our 9 to 5 and coming home. This is a topic that we have a lot on the Ambition Hour podcast, job versus dreams, passion versus career, all that. I mean, we ain't going back to average, basically. I was going to plug the album because I have me and Audi, we ain't going back to average.
Oh, yeah.
Because that the average thing is just to come home and to eat shit, watch the novela, watch your little program or whatever the fuck, or consume content, or play video games. Yeah, you gotta balance it. You gotta still push for some other shit on your own. And what I love about it, at least my job, they know. They sometimes they even push me and hold me accountable. Like, yo, what about your thing? So.
Yeah, and my
we
job,
own it.
Yeah, we've talked about how in my job they hold me accountable to it, but I did want to bring and shed light to that because I was thinking about it, and I was really thinking about busting that U-turn and going back home and being like, I ain't gonna make it today. But I had to remember the plan that I had when I first got my job, which was at least 3 years. I need to at least I actually have given myself 5 years at my job, and I keep feeling that it's gonna be sooner than that. I have like this really strong feeling that it's going to be sooner than that, and I'm going to put it out into the universe and let the listeners know so they can hold me accountable. If it can happen before the 3 years or at the 3 years, I would be very grateful. But I did just want to bring light and shed light onto that. But even if it's not podcasting or whatever it is that you want to do, if you have faith in yourself, if you have faith in what it is that you're going to do, man, do it.
Especially if you don't have no kids.
Yeah, if you don't have no kids, like
you don't have much responsibility. You're younger.
Yeah.
Go for that shit.
Yeah, go for it. I did it when I was younger, so I went out on a limb and took a chance on myself and.
Right. Well, also my message is like, let's go see, like I'm on this thing, and it's basically like this kid was just basically saying, "Yo, I'm trying to start a band. How do you do?" It's kind of like what Dave Chappelle said. You just simply just start it and you do it.
Yeah.
You just do it. But then also like you got to see if you pass over that fence.
Yeah.
And then you could start playing for real.
Yeah.
Or you could see, okay, that I tried my best at that. I gave it 10 years. I gave it this much. I did everything that I could. I pushed myself. It just wasn't in the cards for me.
Yeah.
Instead of going and then thinking when you're 30 or when you're 40 or when you're 50, like, damn, man, homies really liked playing Fortnite, and I was actually good at it. I should have gone.
I could have, yeah.
Yeah, and I could have done, gone to tournaments and shit like that. But either insecurities or not being sure of yourself or what other people would think of you. Nas has one of the best lyrics, I feel like, because he's like, your own securities is what's keeping you disabled.
Something that I did want to say was the same energy that it takes to not do it is the same energy that it takes to do it. So,
because
no action is inaction.
Exactly. So we can bring this back to like when you want to wake up in the morning, like when you're snoozing and stuff. The same energy that it takes to get out of the bed is the same energy that it takes to stay in the bed. Because when you stay in bed, you're literally like, okay, I got 10 more minutes, and you're trying to like go back to sleep, and you're trying to get comfortable again, and then you're thinking about the alarm coming back on. If you would have just gotten out of the bed, gotten ready, it would have been the same energy, but we choose not to do that. And I'm happy that you mentioned the Dave Chappelle special, which is one of the topics that we wanted to talk about. I'm excited. I saw it with you. I had seen it previously because I did not want to wait. And
Yeah, I didn't know it was out.
yeah, I didn't want to wait. I wanted to watch it as soon as possible because I think that Dave Chappelle is hilarious. And I also was seeing way too many things on Twitter. Twitter knows how to fuck shit up for people because I would just see shit and I'm just like, oh, great, there's already controversy. This shit's only been out a day.
I saw some shit where like I saw one like thing with like, oh, talks about cancel culture or whatever like that. And to me, he's one. He's not the two. You know what I mean? You know, I had Bernie Mac at two. You know, and then with it, but I felt like Dave, what he did with this one, it was just more raw, and it was just more like he touched on so many things, and that's what's so great about Dave Chappelle. He could make light at these situations and like make fun. We could laugh at this, we could laugh at that. That Jussie
Smollett,
that right there, just flipping his name was just like so much, like made that whole thing more funny.
Yeah.
Even though some could say there's a dated topic or whatever like that. His approach on a bunch of shit. And I just like, it's like seeing a master at work.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And like,
it was almost like
he killed that.
He like he was just having a conversation.
Yeah.
Like Dave Chappelle is that type of comedian that he is just funny.
Yeah, and like almost like it's like everything he does. It's sometimes it's how he says it, but then the other times is what he said, and then the other times is like when he does the ta-ta, you know, where he does,
ta-ta, bitch.
Or like even like his hand gestures, or the flick of the cigarette, or the sip of the cup,
or even when he like walks away from laughing.
Or like it puts the mic down
funny,
and hits his thigh and it makes that noise. Like that brings me back to the Chappelle show days too. But like, yeah, there's that, you know, and I'm not trying to nut hug like that, but like Dave Chappelle, he killed it. To me, you know, Kevin Who, Eddie Who.
What was crazy was that the internet was saying that he wasn't funny.
See, well, I mean, like, you know, comedy and less like music is subjective.
That's very true.
But to me, I
mean, I think he's hilarious.
To me, that's one. You know, that's the one. Everybody else is 2s and 3s, like Corrupt said on Janae Aiko shit. But yeah, like just his approach on it, his sense of humor, everything, his delivery, everything.
Yeah.
I even feel like, you know, sometimes like comedians, sometimes they not better rappers, but like comedians, they're like, it's a performance.
Yeah.
You know, and like all that stuff, like there's so much art that goes into it. You know what I mean? And like, and also like they gotta remember all this shit. You know what I mean? Like this,
for sure.
They gotta remember
like
all the bits. Yeah, and an hour of all this shit. So
yeah.
Man, hats off to him and his family, man. He killed that shit. Can't wait to the next one. I love the punchline too. But I think what honestly set me over the top is the punchline, the epilogue at the end. Because even knowing like his political ties or seeing like, you know, the story with Obama, with Batman and the senators and this and that, the message, you know, even like I feel like I knew that too, like him and Chris Tucker getting closer, you know, after his infamous Africa trip. So
I thought you were dead.
So just seeing all that and like even what he said about Charlie Murphy and shit like that, like
that was a good
So I and even when he made the thing about Daphne, and even what like Daphne said, for those who haven't seen it, I'm not gonna spoil it too much, but he basically mentioned like, well, you say that you make light of, or you know, you think
that they made like almost normal, like
you normalize what R. Kelly did. What R. Kelly did, and then for transgenders or even the gay community, I'll throw a couple other things in there for it's not too spot on.
That's right. Yell when you hear your letter.
yeah. Exactly.
That took me out.
So and she was like, why don't they ever say that about those jokes?
Yeah.
And it's just like, wow, like it gives you a moment to think about it. And I think that also we've been way too soft as a, you know, as a community and culture
about certain things, and like sometimes it's just good to have a laugh about some shit.
Yeah.
You know, or you know, making a laugh may, you know, like, oh, you know, make someone step off the porch, you know, and like,
Yeah.
well, I'm gonna walk this. I am this person. I am this, and that. So fucking what?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
And I feel like that's one of the things that with his comedy he has been doing, because he just goes as who he is and he's just himself, and
Right.
he says the jokes that he wants to say, and if it's going to get him canceled, like it's already been a proven fact that he's not going to get canceled, like
Right.
because of the stature that he's at. I loved him when he was doing the Jussie Smollett story, which is a dated story, but it's still a funny ass story because this guy really bamboozled us.
Just
I remember
changing his name and saying it like that.
like
got
I
me dead.
remember when the news broke out. I remember posting on my story, like I was hurt. I couldn't believe that they did this to this actor, and then like a week later, it was like that it was just all a lie. And that's part of one of the reasons why that episode of the Joe Budden podcast, which is episode 224, and it's called "Knock Yourself Out," my favorite episode ever. I have listened to it and watched it so many freaking times, and it's one of the episodes that they talk about the Jussie Smollett, for those that didn't know, about that case. And I'm happy that he brought it up because it was something that he could have only said the way that he said, and it was really good. One of my favorite parts as well was when he did talk about the trans community, and when he did the thing of the car, the L, the B's, and because I felt like that's how we all feel when it comes to the LGBTQ community, but we just don't say it. Like, we don't say that, like what he was basically saying was just like the gays don't like the lesbians. We don't know why. And then they both don't like the bisexuals, and the transgenders are just talking to themselves. And it just opened up so many things that I feel like a lot of us have wanted to say, or at least have thought before, but we have never said it because we don't necessarily understand. He's obviously not a part of it, but he's a lot more aware of it because he's in the industry. I'm sure he has friends that are gay, that are transgender. He goes on tour, so he's open, like he sees it a lot more. I feel like in some instances, like for myself, like I have lesbian friends, I have gay friends, I have bisexual friends. And for me, like I just allow them to live the life that they want to live. You know what I mean? I don't judge them. I don't really ask questions. Like, for me, it's just like, to me, it's just normal. It's just become so normal that it's like, you know, okay, like you're lesbian, you like women, okay, cool. You're a man and you like men, that's fine. You're transgender, you felt like you were born in a different body and you want to flourish into a woman or a man, like by all means, like I'm over here doing a podcast every week and you don't tell me shit. You know what I mean?
Exactly. We all doing some wild
yeah, like
shit.
we all
you know
doing
what I mean?
something, or like, you know, like I'm over here with a crush for like forever long, and like,
Right.
you know what I mean? Like nobody's saying anything. Like, and it's just at the end of the day, we just have to all respect each other's boundaries and respect each other's lifestyles. And I was just really happy that he brought light to that. That he talked about how the transgender woman said that and how he got to meet her, and like just like he just did an amazing job on everything. I did also listen to his other stand-ups, the ones that he did on Netflix as well. And so I was listening to the Same Hero, New Boots, and that joke, like he should have been canceled in those type of jokes that he was saying, and he wasn't, and he got called again. And just like how he said, you clicked on my face, so you knew what was coming. Like when you click on Dave Chappelle's face, you know that some shit is coming. And
Did you see the clip about the dude? What's this shit called? LeBron James Show the Shop.
I haven't, but I have been seeing the clip that's been circulating
Well, yeah, that
around
clip.
about.
Kevin
I
Hart.
haven't seen it. All I've seen is the like what people have written.
So you haven't seen that little 20-minute
No,
clip?
I haven't played it.
Oh, okay.
I've only read because
Well,
first of
basic-
all, the first person that I see that was liking shit and stuff about it was Spitz on Twitter this morning. So that was like one of the first things that I saw. But I didn't get to actually see the clip, even though I have HBO and I could have watched it, but I don't know. But what did you watch it?
Yeah, well, I just heard that little part, and it just like, well, Kevin Hart, I feel like just made an ass of himself because he was kind of like because they were kind of questioning Lil Nas X of like him coming out,
Mm-hmm.
you know, like why now? Why would you do it? And he's just like, well, Lil Nas was just like, well, you know, like he kind of said like, oh, well, you know, people front, you know, like people
look down upon it or feel a way about it. He's like, and then Kevin Hart, I felt like just ignorantly was just like, what about being gay? You know, like kind of normalizing coming out and what that means to someone. You know, like because he's, you know, and little Nas X kind of handled it appropriately because he was just kind of like, you know, like in our culture, you know, if you really grew up in the hood, like that's not cool.
Yeah.
You know, and like, and he also felt that he should do it now while he's on top to make it kind of like, oh, that's okay to do.
Yeah.
You know, rather when his plays are low, he has no money,
Yeah,
and then all of a sudden step out the
and
porch and be like, hey guys, I'm gay, and then
Yeah.
try to get his shit back up. You know, why not do? He was just like, why not do it? You know, you're cool now. You know,
Yeah,
why
people
don't?
are gonna love you regardless.
You know, so like I just felt like, because then that people were mentioning kind of like the whole thing of like Kevin basically lost that job to host the Oscars
Yeah, because of
Dave
all the
Chappelle mentioned
comments
that
he said.
about that, and then he
Yeah,
happens
for him
to do that,
be in,
and then it was also
LeBron
like,
knows what he's doing.
yeah, and then also the whole thing with him and making the jokes about with his son if he showed signs of that.
Yeah.
And then like him just being like, what about being gay? Like, you know, kind of like making it normalized. Like,
Yeah.
then again, like we are in a very, and like, and dang, I hate how I'm kind of sounding, because it's like, well, we need to cancel him or he's wrong or whatever like that, or like he made an ass of himself, because also, you know, like I can see it in both ways, because it's like, okay, yeah, why not we just start normalizing it more, like how we're saying. We are seeing more gay people. We are seeing more transgenders. We are almost seeing all these bisexuals and all that stuff. So like, why not take it lightly? But we understand it's a little different in the environment that you're in.
Yeah, for sure.
You know, so I just felt that it was just like, I felt like they needed to let him talk. I haven't seen the whole episode. I probably am not gonna see it, but yeah, I just thought that was just interesting on how all that happened.
One of the things that I did see on social media was, how are you going to explain your sexual preference in a room of men who can't even explain shit to their wives? Yeah, so that was something that I saw. And honestly, once I noticed that it was Lil Nas X and Kevin Hart in the same room, I can already expect foolishness. One, because Kevin Hart is going to try to be funny about it, and this isn't a funny topic. Like, this is a boy. This is a black man who is at the height of his career, and who has decided to come out as a gay man. And it's not easy, because he's also fighting against the things that it's just like, oh, well, what if he's just pretending to be gay at the height of his career, so that way his career can go to the next level.
Someone was kind of mentioning it, and I didn't like that person's tone. And excuse my ignorance, I don't know who that is, but like, it's kind of like, but why now? Why now? You know, like, when does it matter that when, how, why? You know, like.
Yeah, I don't think it should ever matter when a person decides that they want to come out. If they want to come out, if he decided in fucking 50 years that he wanted to come out as a gay man, like, who the fuck cares? If he wanted to, for me, it would have been nice if he would have came in the game and we knew that he was gay. I would have loved that. But at the same time, we're so judgmental that because we were already like, well, that song's country, that song is not hip-hop, so we were already like that was probably just me, but we were already not accepting of certain things that when it came down to him. So for him to have come in with that, and with him being gay, like I said earlier, you can be whatever you want to be. You can be with whoever you want to be. That is none of my business. I just want you to be happy. I want you to be safe. I want you to live and become the best version of yourself. That's all I truly genuinely care for.
Everybody but Dorian.
Everybody but Dorian, because Dorian is still fucking around in these streets, and someone needs to get him.
He wildin'.
Dorian's baby mama need to call him. Let him know that it's time to, pack it on in. And so another special that dropped on Netflix was the Travis Scott special. I know you saw it. I saw it, I think the day after it. I like to watch shit like as soon as it drops, and as soon as I notice that I have time to be able to watch it, then I like to watch it. I also just love hip hop shit. Anything that has to do with hip hop, the culture, rap, anything, I like to watch it. I like to indulge in it. I like to just you know, just get as much from it as I can. And one of the things that I loved about the Travis Scott special was how there was just a lot of different clips. I didn't feel like there was a complete, I guess, like organization when it came down to the documentary, but I did like that he had a lot of different footage. I loved that he showed the process of him making Astroworld, which is his Grammy nominated album. He was nominated 3 times for that album, and he also performed at the Grammys. It also takes you to when he performed at the Super Bowl and kind of like what he was going through, and the backlash and X, Y, and Z when it came down to the Super Bowl and his performance at the Super Bowl and how he felt after coming off of the performance. And basically just different aspects of, I guess, the ride that he has been on since the making of Astroworld and after, and even finding out that Kylie is pregnant, Stormy coming into the world, then we see him being a father. We also get a glimpse into how his tours are. I did not know what has gone to a concert of his, but I would love to go to a concert of his, but I would need like a nice little space that's not being a mosh pit because I'm little and I would so catch an anxiety attack in that bitch. But I would love to see him in concert.
Yeah, I thought it was like what I liked about it like was that you got to see a little bit more of his the excitement, you know,
Yeah,
like
behind the album and the mixing and
the mixing, him getting the Drake verse and just like and
that
also
was
the
fun.
also like the highs and lows, him being disappointed about the Grammys, right? 'Cause
Yeah.
usually we get the political answer like, oh, you know, you know, shout out to Cardi B, you know, like she deserves it, all this stuff, you know, all that, and then rather being like, damn, you know, because sometimes with our superstars, we feel like there's so much of superheroes, right?
Yeah.
You know, like, oh, nothing faces them, you know,
Yeah.
like, or why would you be mad that you lost the Grammys? You know, like you had this, and this going on.
Like
you know
got
what I
the
mean?
money,
Like,
you just have a child and she's about to turn a year old, and you got Kylie and she's a billionaire, and
right. Instead of like, yeah, you know, like this is something that he wanted, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Or in even the halftime thing, you know, all the backlash that he was getting. Look at now.
yeah, it doesn't even
Look at
matter.
now. I hope all you guys, you know, all you guys that fucking tweeted some shit about him or like trying to cancel him or he was dead wrong for doing this and that about it. Yo, I want to see y'all faces now, like how on how everything else has turned out in the last couple of weeks. You know, with Jay doing all his old thing, basically is what I'm referring to.
Yeah.
But so it's like, bro, like, and then it's something that he wanted to do when he was young. You know, like he's been feeling a kid, and I also like that, like seeing the old clips.
Oh yeah, the old clips.
You know,
of him.
like
I didn't know that Astroworld was a real place.
I knew that because he's been doing the whole Astro thing, like, you know, like for a minute.
Yeah.
If you're a fan of him, you kind of caught of that. So then I kind of just like did research on it and all that stuff. I think I have yet to listen to that album in length. You know, kill me if y'all want to.
I haven't. I was talking to somebody about how like I'm not the biggest like I'm not a fan, because I was recommending for him to watch it, and I'm like, yeah, you know, you'll be very inspired. One of the reasons was because there's a clip of him having like 14 people in the crowd, and then you see like his concerts now, and it's like selling out the Madison Square Garden. And one of the things that I said was like, yeah, like as people who are in like, you know, creative and like, you know, part of the culture and wanting to excel in this, we tend to forget that these artists that are Grammy nominated, that are at the heights of their careers, they once started at zero, and they once started where they were performing for 14, 15 people. And there's been times where we've been to places that you have either just performed for me, you know, or you have performed for me and a couple of other people.
Yeah,
and
it hasn't been that bad. It was just you, but
yeah, I'm probably exaggerating, but it's just like,
well, not that I get, not that I get, but
yeah, it's just like it just goes to show and prove that if you just remain consistent and
it's
just
journey,
don't forget
process.
that like these artists that you're seeing them at the height of their career, you also have to remember that they once started where you guys are. So for all of the artists that listen to this show, remember that they all started somewhere, just like how you're starting somewhere. Just because you start somewhere, that doesn't mean that that's where you're going to end. So just continue to be consistent, continue to get inspiration from these artists, continue to
Beyoncé, look at where she started from.
Yeah, like surround yourself with people who are going to see the same vision for you and who you can trust to give you the feedback that it is that you need when it comes onto your music, when it comes onto your craft. Like the shirts, like first of all, like Mari Sunshine, she's actually wants to become a lawyer, but when she told me that she wanted that she like this was something that made her very happy, I'm like, are you kidding me? This is something that's perfect for you. You know what I mean? Instead of being like, why are you gonna make shirts?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, aren't you like trying to be a lawyer? You know what I mean?
School's fucking boring.
Like,
No, I'm kidding. And like, who knows? You could probably make as much money doing this than what you should
just
get.
yeah, you just never
You know,
know.
you never know, and
You just
you know
never
if that's
know.
really a passion of hers. I mean, that's a conversation that she needs to have with herself. But
Yeah.
but yeah, like just seeing where like motherfuckers start from, and I was even looking at the Wu-Tang thing that's coming out with Hulu.
I'm
It just,
excited for that. Yeah.
and
Might need to get Hulu.
just seeing all the stuff that's happened, you know, and the lows that, you know, even Jizza went through. No, excuse me, RZA. Yeah, I knew I got it messed up. But even RZA went through. It looked like his house got burned, and then with the music, you know, with the music there, you know, what that could have done. You know, I had a hard drive, you know, disappear, you know, with some music in it, and that hurt me for a couple of days. But just knowing that there's gonna be struggle, there's gonna be, you know, there's success, but there's beauty in the struggle, like how J. Cole be saying. But yeah, like, you know, you're gonna appreciate those moments later on when you're on top, and that's what separates the winners and the quitters. You know, winners win because they never give up. You know, so type shit like that.
So there's a lyric. First things first. Sir dropped an album. And I got put on to Sir because of John Fifth. Shout out to John Fifth. He actually told me about his previous project, and so I really liked it. So when he dropped this project, I was just like, oh shit, I gotta fucking listen to it. And I've been playing it nonstop. You guys know that I like to listen to all the new music that drops. And out of this week, the projects that drop were the Common Project, which I definitely listened to. I listened to the Sir Project, but the main reason why I'm bringing up the Sir Project is because he has this lyric in this song called Lucy's Love, which is featuring Lil Wayne, and the lyric says, what's a journey without the complication? So yeah, I felt like that was very fitting for this conversation. What's a journey without the complication? Because there's going to be complications in whatever it is that your journey is to. Back to, I guess, the releases, to kind of like wrap that up, the Common album, he has a single on that album that I didn't listen to it until I heard the album. And when I tell you guys that I got tears in my eyes because I heard that song, it's a song that he has with Jill Scott, and it's basically a song that he wrote for his daughter. And one of the things that I love about Common is that he's been so open about the conversations that he has with his daughter, because he hasn't always had the best relationship with his daughter. And as a woman who is constantly working on the relationship with her father, I just connected with that song so much, and so much so that it brought tears to my eyes. So if you know me, I love Common. He's one of my favorite rappers, top 5. And so I was really happy that he dropped a project. Justine Skye also dropped a project. It was an EP, and it was 5 tracks. I think it's more. It might have been. I'm not sure. But Justine Skye's project is also really, really good. And the Sir project, like I said, has been on repeat. So many good songs. The features that he has is like Jill Scott. He has Kendrick Lamar. He has Lil Wayne. He has Sabrina Claudio. He has what's this dude's name? Zakari. Who else? I had Jill Scott, Smino. Yeah, it's just a really good project. And one of the songs that I've been obsessed with is The Recipe. That's Why I Love You. John Redcorn. Yeah, I'm just looking at the whole track list, and I just love the whole project. So so just go ahead and listen to that project. And he's part of TDE, right?
Yeah, Sir, come on the show. You're more than welcome to come.
I mean, yeah, could come through to the show and sing a tune or two, because that voice. I'm obsessed with him. Like,
yeah,
I'm
part
really
of TDE. Shout out TDE.
Yeah, I'm really happy that I was introduced to him.
Nah, that's dope, man. Yeah, he does good music. I need to check it out. I need to also check out I've Been Sleep, man. My boy Yeah Ali dropped, and I haven't listened to his shit, so I gotta listen to that. The Toro Imoro, I mean, I talked about it a little bit. Oh, that was also dope seeing my boy in the studio too with Travis. He was there. And then even seeing the work relationship, and it kind of gives me a little bit, because I was really critical about Rihanna using the Tape Impala record that she used on the album. oh man, I forgot the song, but it's a song that you like. And I felt, but it seems like they got like a really good, close working relationship. And I didn't notice too. Maybe when I saw the SNL, I didn't peep it. But John Mayer was fucking playing the guitar too. So it was
because he was there after the performance. That was pretty dope.
It was just seeing that and just seeing Travis calling them all OGs, and all that stuff. Like it's just cool to see like creatives also working with creatives, like. And especially with rap, what I mean, and what Travis does, Travis. Some people, and this is probably why it is left off, because he works with these guys. He works with Kevin from Tape and Polly. He works with Toro Yamoro, and get their opinion on anything like that. So I just thought that like seeing that was just like, fuck yeah, I want to be doing shit like that. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's one of my favorite things too with the documentaries is that you get to see a look into.
Yeah, and I didn't really need a storyline. I think you said, did you say that?
Yeah,
or like a constant thread
that was
through.
More like the Joe Budden.
Yeah, well, like I think Parks kind of said that, and like not saying that. Oh man, like I think that doesn't hinder it because it is a documentary and it's kind of like a snapshot between this amount of time, and it goes back in time, then it comes back, and then it comes in. But
I think they did a great job.
I think a great job, and then also Spitz. I'll speak a little bit for him because he does it. He's not the biggest Travis fan, like how you're saying. But he didn't know that he was so in tune with his crowd.
Yeah.
And how
he would like call them up and then take them for that. They would get kicked out and then he would bring them back. I saw him getting arrested.
Right. When I saw him, that he was like, yo, if y'all coming on the stage, jump off. These security guards aren't playing. They gonna fucking tackle you. He's like, come on stage and jump immediately off. Don't try to snap a picture, bro. Just fucking,
you cannot try to go on stage and try to snap a picture. That's insanity. One of the things that it just came and went. Okay, well, I did want to talk about how when his friends got to hear like the baby's heartbeat and like seeing their friend be a dad and like all that stuff. I thought that was pretty cool, and kind of seeing the relationship that him and Kylie have. That's a pretty dope thing. That was a pretty dope thing to see. There was something else that it came down to with his fans, like even that he would like give them the mic and then they would I remembered. But yeah, so he would give him the mic, and then they would say stuff, and then a lot of the fans, they would say how like he like saved his life, and then there was people who would like run up to him. It's crazy because he said that about Cudi. Yeah, like it's just, and then like because I didn't know that he was just such a big fan of Kanye until I think you mentioned it to me, and then Kanye was like, him and Kanye are basically family now.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? That's insane. Like Kanye,
and they had a work relationship.
Yeah, before. Kanye is his daughter's uncle.
Yeah, but he's on Cruel Summer.
True that.
He was signed to Good as a producer.
Yeah, but
and then signed to Grand Hustle as a rapper.
What I was saying more along the lines of like you just never know.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. One of the things that I did, because I have one of the girls at my job. She's not very big into hip hop, but she watched the documentary, if I'm not mistaken. And she watched it, and we were talking about like how he went to prison or whatever, and I was telling her, I'm just like, do you know how long police officers have been taking rappers to jail, and like right after the performance or even during their performance? And then I brought up the whole NWA
shit,
and how they told them like, if you perform this song, we're taking you guys to jail, and they ended up taking their asses to fucking jail because they did not abide by the laws that they have set for them. And it goes back to my whole criminalization of rappers, and I can go on and on about that rant about that, because y'all need to let my rappers go. Like, y'all need to stop it. I wanted to ask you, what is a phobia of yours? Like, if something, like, you know how some people, they'll see like a spider and they'll freak the fuck out and they cannot go around the spider. Do you have any like that?
I'm trying to think.
I know I don't.
I don't. Like, if anything is like very small and it's not even like a phobia, like it just kind of gives me the heebie-jeebies or like the goosebumps, like kind of like when like but this is so crazy. Like, I don't like it when the mics speak on the speakers, or I don't like it when I hear like a beep and it's just like a random beep, like, but it's not a phobia. Like, I could tune it out.
Yeah.
So like, I don't know, nothing that hinders me from greatness.
Yeah, for me, like, cause I see how some people react when they see like a lizard
Lizard or a
or
spider,
like a
yeah, or
spider or like a
cockroach
cockroach
shit
or
like
like
that.
mommy doesn't like snakes.
Snakes and shit like that. Like, and nothing ever makes me jump up or like, oh my god, I'm gonna see. I mean, shit. If I see a bear now or like
Dog,
a
what
tiger,
was
I mean,
no
that's the other thing. But
dog?
like,
Do you remember that time that we were here at the crib and it was me, you, and Carlos and mommy, and I don't know what the fuck came out, and you like jumped on you like jumped on a chair. What was it? And then like we were all like screaming and trying to get it out of the house. Was it a frog? It was something, and then my dad came out and was just like, "Oh, what's wrong?" And it was like we were all freaking the fuck out. You don't remember that?
maybe I was doing that for theatrics, but I don't know if I was shook like that though.
I don't know. I just remember
If it was a frog, I'm all because I feel like frogs, like you touch or that shit touches you, you get a wart or some shit like that. I don't know if that's actually true. I don't know, but they're also like the textures of them. You know what I mean? Like
frogs are just weird, and there's a
Yeah,
lot
they-
of them down here.
yeah, but but shit, they in my backyard. Like I don't trip on that. No, I don't know. You might have me confused. That's probably Carlos, aka C.A.B. But like I said, you know.
Yeah, so I would love to know if anybody out there has any
Yeah, if
phobias.
you
Like
have any
what scares the
phobias,
shit out of
what's-
you?
What scares the fuck out of you? Shit.
Yeah, because I honestly I have yet to see. The only thing that really scares me is being broke as fuck. That's a pretty big phobia of mine. Being broke as fuck again.
Yeah, man.
That shit ain't cute. And to wrap up the episode, I wanted to bring up the discussion of having difficult conversations and how they feel after. So a lot of the times, we do not want to have difficult conversations. I, for one, dislike difficult conversations because I don't like confrontation, but I'm a very curious person, so I always decide to have the difficult conversation because I feel like once you have it, like you were saying earlier, you just feel a lot better. You feel like you have gotten it off of your chest. What has it like what is the most previous the most recent time that you have had a difficult conversation, and what did you get out of having that difficult conversation?
So basically, this conversation was something along the lines of like someone that kind of felt like I had some resentment towards, or kind of like, I don't know, or maybe our relationship wasn't as close as it previously was.
Yeah.
So, we're talking with someone, and then they're like, man, well, you're talking about this kind of passionately, you should have that. You shouldn't walk around with that resentment, or anything like that. And what it basically is a tough conversation, aka accountability conversation.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like you got to take sometimes you got to take your friends to homie court and just like, yo, I either don't like the way you're moving in this, and that, or when you said this, I took it this way. And not even in I took it in a personal matter. I just see like how other motherfuckers could look at you.
Mm-hmm.
So, so it's just to sprinkle a little bit of the truth in there, but that's kind of like where that came from. And I was like, the whole time I was creating this story in my head, like, man, this person's gonna be shut off to it. They don't want to hear this. They have so much going on in their lives. Because then again, I don't want to be the motherfucker that looks like it's coming out and pointing at flaws.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Like, this and that, because I'm not perfect myself.
Mm-hmm.
I'm still growing and learning like everybody else. So in that conversation, and then just how they took it, and how that person is all like, I guess what I got from it too is how that person's gonna ultimately respect you more at the end of it too.
Mm-hmm. Because
And
you were honest with
you
them.
were honest with them, right? And what do we always say? We preach this, especially on social media and shit. Keep it 100. Keep it 100 with me. Keep it 1,000. Like keep it 100. Keep it a stack. All this, all that.
And then there's a lot of people that don't do it.
That don't. They own homies. They don't even check them, or they don't do anything. Let that shit be. So, sometimes they feel like they're difficult conversations, but then at the end, you're just like, either that person takes it good or they're appreciative of it. Of course, you might have their dicks that are just like, are just too arrogant, or they don't want to hear anything, can't take constructive criticism or whatever like that. But that's very rare, especially when you're trying to be real with someone.
Yeah.
And then even if you prep it up with like, yo, I don't even know how I'm gonna say this, or like, I'm gonna be really real with you. Like, this is hot, blah, 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 blah. Give them the math. So I just feel like it's liberating. It's you shouldn't live with that as well. Either if it's a resentment, either if it's hatred, if it's something that you've done in the past that it was a lie. Because I know I had to call myself out on that shit. You know, calling petty shit too.
Yeah.
Like, hey, on 7th grade, I lied about that.
Yeah.
Homies didn't steal another run up on someone and steal their chain. Nah, I got this chain. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
This is that, because, like, especially when you're younger, you try to do shit to look cooler. This and
when
that.
I was in like 6th, 7th grade, I had a whole boyfriend that did not know I existed.
So, like, it's just a bunch of shit, you know? So, like, you shouldn't walk around with that. Go ahead, have those tough conversations, you know, and just, that's the only way you could get over it, or push it to the side, or push it, you know, move forward. Yeah. You know, because then if not, you know, and just like revenge, you know, like, I don't like that word, you know, so I'm happy we hopefully we going with the workout and not just running. You know, we could do other, I said in the gym shit, but like,
we can even do like fit camps and stuff,
yeah,
or like boot camps.
So like revenge and shit like that, like it's not good energy to feed off from. I used to be very fearful of like letting go of my almost like bitterness, or like almost like, you know, my resentment or hatred, you know, like, dang, I need I this fuels me, you know, in a way, or it motivates me, and that's not the way to live life. You know, you should just be happy with yourself. You should be able to talk to yourself to motivate yourself. Yeah, so that's basically what I wanted to say about it. And like, yeah, have those tough conversations, and you'll see how it's like, oh man,
like that was easier than I thought.
You have a clearer mind.
Something that my horoscope app co-star said today was revenge is a fantasy. So I wanted to say that to like wrap up what you said and add on what I felt, because one of the things that growing up, me and have always been super close. There was a time where we weren't completely close, but that was due to our circumstances. And now that we have moved past that and we are working closer together and we're just very honest with each other, something that I had been holding on to for a very, very, very long time. Him and I had this conversation that I always thought was extremely difficult to have. And him and I had this conversation, and it was literally like nothing. It was in my head. It was way worse. It was like this big thing that I swore. I was just like, I can never have this conversation with him. Like, I can never tell him. I can never admit to him this, because if I don't admit it to him, then it means that it didn't happen. And I would just continue that in my head, and it would just eat me alive every single year. I would think about like, oh my God, like, when am I going to tell him? Like, he doesn't even remember. He's going to think that I'm crazy. Like, and I remember when him and I had the conversation, it was so easy. I felt so better. Now him and I, our relationship has gotten a lot better. I'm also I've had difficult conversations with my parents because I feel like I'm at the age where I can have these type of difficult conversations with them, because I feel that with difficult conversations you can learn about how to break the generational curses that I am working so hard to break, because I don't want to continue in the same footsteps that my parents have been living in. No offense to the way that they've been living, because they have provided this beautiful life that I have lived, and they continue to be the parents and the friends that they are, and I'm extremely grateful for that. But there are some steps that they did take in their life that I do not want to follow. So having the difficult conversations with them and questioning them about certain things and the certain decisions that they've made has always been something that I have always tried to do. So having that difficult conversation with them, and even with friends, like, there's a conversation that I've been honestly avoiding for some time. And I just feel, because it's none of my business, but I do feel that I do need to be upfront with my friend about a certain situation that I just don't agree with her. But that's something that I feel that with time is just going to eventually happen. And I also feel like if it's something that like you just cannot live with anymore, then yes, you should definitely have the conversation with the person. But sometimes the time isn't always right. So also that comes with discernment. That comes with like having, you know, understanding yourself, understanding that sometimes you may not you shouldn't have the conversation right away because of the things that you may say or the things you may not say, because sometimes when you're mad you forget some of this shit. Yeah, you react on emotion, and then you just don't know what you about to say, and it just goes a lot into so many things. But we do recommend you guys to have those difficult conversations even with yourself, because sometimes the hardest conversation that you need to have is the one with yourself, because you're going to be the only one who's going to be the realist with you, because you're the only one who knows exactly what you want. Because I can sit here and say everything that I want, and I can tell Jav, and Jav can hold me accountable, but if I didn't keep it real with myself and said exactly what I wanted to myself first, what Jav says to me is never going to motivate me. You know what I mean? So the most difficult conversation is the one with yourself. What do you want? What do I want? What do I see myself in 5 years? Who do I see myself with? Do I see myself having kids? Do I see myself having this? My attitude. How is my attitude? How is when someone tells me something, how am I reacting to it? How can I change that? How can I become a better wife? I mean, a better wife, yeah. How can I become a better mother? How can I become a better daughter? How can I become a better sister, niece, cousin? Whatever it is that you need to do, you need to reevaluate yourself and be a level 10 in all areas of your life. Now, I wanted to close it with this quote that I did post on my Instagram story. If you do not follow me on Instagram, is Audi Ambition on Instagram, and you can also follow the podcast Instagram, which is Ambition Hour on Instagram and Twitter, and you can follow Jav on Instagram and Twitter, which is Jav Jav 600. A lot of the time, people aren't thinking what you think they are thinking. And 4. Did you want to say anything before we close it out, Jav?
Please make sure you use the promo code and get these sensational candles.
Yes.
By my friend. And
ANC19A is the promo code to get 10% off of any Annie and Co candle on her Etsy site. You can follow her on Instagram, which is Annie.and.co, and also with Love Sunshine for your custom shirts.
Yeah, and also I just want to mention that, Weekend in NY is out. Go ahead and stream
that bitch, share it,
share it like with the episode, share that with a friend, with another friend, put them on some dope music, and highly blessed and highly favored.
Yes, amen, Jav. I like that phrase that you picked up this week. And for the 84th time in a row, it's your girl Audi 3000. This is the Ambition Hour podcast, and we are out.